With all the hype and trending videos concerning how good Squid Game is as a show going viral left and right, we had to hop onto the hype train before it was too late. It's crystal clear that everyone that already watched Squid Game loved it and recommended it to practically everyone they know. And even though I can't find time to watch it for the life of me, we're here today to remind you of some of the top 10 anime similar to Squid Game that you should watch. So, before we begin, remember to subscribe if you haven't yet, and press that bell icon to stay updated of all the new content we're creating. And beware for the following spoilers. 10. Osama Game the Animation. This anime received low ratings on MAL for multiple reasons, and I don't deny the issues it has as a death game series. The concept of the show as a core is actually decent, though cliched, albeit like most anime these days, it wasn't half bad as a plot to expand on. The series messed up big time when it came to the execution of the concept, however, ruining the whole build-up of mystery and horror with trivial orders from the so-called king, like kissing someone or sexual-related orders. The show doesn't hold any punches with the violence either, but it just failed at attracting the audience with its bland characters and thin ice plot. Cracking down and shattering right after the first 2 episodes, this series is here to remind and compare to you guys how wrong things can go with such a concept of death game, and how Squid Game actually nailed it when it comes to character depth and storytelling, something this show clearly failed at. 9. Battle Game in 5 seconds. Erasing someone from the family registry and getting rid of any evidence of them ever existing is one thing, but having those people enter a deadly tournament for God knows why and having them kill each other is a whole different matter. In the introduction of the tournament, they're given an ultimatum to either participate or die then and there. Surely no one wanted to die, so they reluctantly agree to participate in the tournament. Each participant receives weird shackles on their hands accompanied with superhuman powers unique to each and every one of them. The power of the MC is unconventional at best and requires big brains to operate. Without going into much spoilers about how it works, I urge you to watch and find out, guys, since it is actually a fun series with some depth to it. 8. Tenku Shinpan High-Rise Invasion. This series was out this year and made its debut on Netflix not so long ago. It's also a death game where we're suddenly thrown into the shoes of the main protagonist as she tries to make out heads or tails out of her situation and where she really is. Right off the bat, we're thrown into a sense of mystery, danger, and death looming in the air as the main female is hunted by masked people that seem to have lost all reason and ability to communicate and have become nothing but mindless killing machines. The MC hopes to find a way out of this cursed game and city, but first, she must find her brother and leave with him after discovering that he too is a participant in this survival game. I'm not gonna lie, the visuals aren't half bad, nor the plot, but like King's Game, this show lost the audience interest after a lot of unneeded fan service and almost zero character development towards the characters. Lots of the flashbacks and backstories were absurd and just plain annoying. People like to watch a series about characters they can relate to and feel with, even though we related to the characters as she was flung into the unknown trying to discover with her where she is or why that sense of first-player piloting died off with the episodes one after another until I lost interest and dropped it. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to watch and all, but just don't expect some thick and complicated plot or character development. 7. Gantz. I know. This is an old anime with ancient style of animation. You guys don't like it that much, but just give me a second to explain why Gantz until this day is still one of the best death game series out there and how it aged so well over the years. The whole concept of Gantz was that there's no life after death, and instead you wake up in an empty room with a round black ball in it that is practically God. In this world, you have to fight, kill, and above all survive the hordes of the green-looking aliens and monsters infesting the city. The MC, like any arrogant brat, throws himself into sticky situations that he can't get out of easily with no regard to his life whatsoever. I mean, he already died once, so I can kind of understand where he's coming from. However, the death of his best friend changed everything and finally helped him realize the severity of the situation they're in, making him less of a solo show and more of a team player that did his best to ensure that his team always returns from their missions alive and with no casualties. This show is a lot to take in, whether it's the weird blob proclaiming it's God with omnipotent powers, or it's the gore, rape, and sheer bloody violence. Gantz is many things, and it's definitely a must-watch classical series. 6. Danganronpa, the animation. After the success of the games and all the fanbase clamoring for an anime adaptation, this series saw the light on July 5th, 2013. It was clearly the year of game-to-anime adaptations, but Danganronpa was considered the only good, to put it mildly, adaptation that year. The series, just like the game, is all about the ongoing war between despair and hope to see which one of them will be crowned victorious in the end. The death game is simple enough, having students killing each other and ending others' lives without anyone catching them. However, the reason behind those mind games and wanting the students to give in to despair is even more twisted and messed up. If you like detective-like, mystery kind of genres, then this show is definitely for you. So enjoy! And when you're done with the first season, go ahead and keep on watching seasons 2 and 3. 5. Dead Man Wonderland. This show started off with a bang. Literally, one moment you're just a normal school student minding your own business in class. The next, your class explodes and all your classmates are minced meat splattered all over the walls. And to make things even worse, the MC is framed to be the one that killed them. And so conveniently, due to lack of evidence, he's easily incriminated. He doesn't go to jail though. Oh no, an even worse fate awaits him now. He's going to enter a death game tournament where players are called Dead Man and have the ability to conjure weapons from blood. It's the survival of the fittest over there, all for the sake of entertainment. It's kind of like Death Race, but without the cars and with much more blood. Sadly, the series didn't receive good reviews and was canceled after season 1. You can still watch it and have some fun, but don't expect any closure. 4. Darwin's Game. This is what happens when you give random people superpowers and trap them in a death game to find out who is the best assassin of them all. Darwin Game isn't one of those big IQ or crazy plot twist kind of anime, but one thing it is, and it's freaking amazing from an action perspective, of course. Ever watch the movie Nerve? Well, Darwin Game is close to it thanks to an unknown app. People's lives become trapped in this game, fighting to survive while being granted awesome powers in return. Some that are battle-oriented, and some that aren't that much useful in a fight, like the ability to tell lies. In such a game, when the stakes are highest, it is good to know who truly is an ally, and who's just there to backstab you when the first chance introduces itself. However, when it comes to combat, this ability is practically useless, opposed to the water and ice bending or the pyromancy. The MC got the best ability an assassin can ask for. Just like Emiya Shiru from Fate, he is able to conjure weapons out of thin air, as long as he understands their composition and how they work and held it in his hand at least once. However, he can't replicate crazy complicated stuff like phones or computers. For most of the show, he sticks to guns, grenades, and blades mostly, prompting him the potential to become the strongest assassin ever if he wasn't such a peace-loving person. Instead, he creates a clan to end the game and find the sick mind behind it. Even though the show is a death game, the themes it has a bit more light-hearted than normal death games that usually promote doom and gloom atmospheres. Nonetheless, it was quite fun to watch it. 3. Batum. Speaking of Doom, this death game was more like an introduction to Battle Royale games before they were even a thing. Just like Fortnite and PUBG, the players find themselves inexplicably on an island stranded with gemstones carved into their hands. The aim of the game is simple. Everyone that can gather 7 gems is free to leave the island. Simple, right? Well, not so much, since the only way to do so is to kill the person that owns that gem and add it to your count. So technically speaking, every person will have to kill 7 other players to gain freedom from this horrid island. The survival game is actually modeled based on the video game Batum, with the same name, and the MC is oh so conveniently the reigning champion. So, when he realized he is now a real player in the game with his life and many others on the line, he kicked his survival and gamer instincts into overdrive and traversed the island like a pro, gaining allies and beating foes that stand in his way. 2. The Future Diary. This series was one of my first anime shows to ever watch, and the first as well when it came to this genre, so it holds a great place in my heart, and when I watched it, I didn't know what to expect from it or from the genre as a whole. The best thing I did was go blind into the series without any previous experiences or knowledge of the genre. The story is as follows. The god of time is on his deathbed and running out of time, pun intended. So he has to find a successor to take his place instead. And what better way to do so than by a death tournament between total strangers? But somehow, all are in the same city. The show is all about the fights they have against each other and how they actually manage to find each other. You see, they all carry something on their phones called Future Diary, which warns them of their future that is inevitable and can't be changed. The MC, Yuki, is as chicken as they come. Hell, even chicken's got balls bigger than his. He spends almost half the show whimpering and crying like a little brat and afraid of everyone and everything around him. Your typical shonen pro tag, if you like. With the help of the innocent, my ass, Gasai Yuno, those two ally themselves together in order to win the tournament, become the gods, and undo all the deaths that happened throughout the tournament. That was the main course of action. However, life isn't all sunshine and rainbows, and they'll know what magnitudes their actions carry with them in due time. 1. Kaiji, Ultimate Survivor. This guy is either so damn unlucky or he's just born to lose. There's no positive side when you look at the life of this man. He's always under backbreaking debt, trying to escape from debtors and watching out above his shoulders all the time. His life took a turn after he wasn't able to pay back a debt. He was sentenced to human labor for 15 years in a shady organization until he pays back that debt. And since he's a compulsive gambler, he's going to do what he's best at and gamble like there's no tomorrow in order to regain his freedom and old life. The art style is quite stunning, though I personally didn't like the character design with the pointy chin and nose that can pop someone's eyes off. But the series is quite chill and fun to watch. Probably it's the most lighthearted in the list as well. And with this, we conclude our video. If you enjoyed this list, I want you to smash that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and press that bell icon to keep you notified of all our new videos. Also, comment down below on the anime you like the most on this list, and if you're planning to watch any of them. And if you have any suggestions, place them in the comments as well. Until next time, see ya!